I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Sumobito is kinda good now. Okay then, jumping into the first set, let's start with the setup Sumobito. We're running 200 melee attack TPs with a very brawny personality to hit as hard as possible. The 36 energy TPs at level 50 will get us to 240 energy, which will let us use 1 bulk up, 1 poison, and then 5 counter poises or counter stances. The 16 speed TPs will let us outspeed mirror matches against other Sumobitos. The 48 range defense TPs will make our range defense stat greater than our melee defense stat, so we'll give Protagon a melee attack increase rather than a ranged one. And then the 200 health TPs will increase our overall bulk. For the held item, I'm gonna go with Health Amulet to make setting up a little bit easier, but there are some other options like an Essence, Shell, or even Power Cuss if you wanted to try something else. Then for the ability, we're running Guru, which will increase the damage of our moves by 50% as long as they have a strength of 70 or lower. And finally for the moves, we're running Counter Poise and Counter Stance for our stab moves, which are also priority. Bulk Up is going to let us set up to deal more damage, and then Poison is going to be great to punish Loomians that would otherwise counter us, mainly being things like Euro Snack or Krakaloa, just to name a couple. Although there are some other options like Parasitize, Horn Dashi, Quick Punch, Fire Slam, Bamboozle, or even Ill Will. Okay then, hopping into the first battle, and oh boy, I see a lot of good matchups for our Sumobito. Although, I do see a bulky fire type, and yeah, that's not super good for us, but hey, we should be fine, I hope. Okay, let's lead Dragoon. I'll try and get entry hazards up, but I feel like they're probably going to stop us, so we're most likely just going to be stealing an ability and getting the heck out of here. But to be honest, I think stealing any of their abilities is pretty good. Spreezy is most likely running Hard Candy. Oh, Rageful. Oh, that's not super good. Is it Sugar Rush then? Oh, okay. That is really good. Now I'm not gonna get swept by a Spreezer. Okay, nice. Thanks, man. I guess we could actually go for Babs here, Len, because there's no way they're gonna switch out right. If they do switch out, Spreezer's gonna lose its Rageful, which is really not good for it. Let's go for 1 layer Babs, I guess, Len. We outspeed the Spreezer. Good to see. They go for Twirly Whirl. That's also fine. Because we outspeed it, we could actually go for another one. Potentially. Yeah, I think it's fine to get another layer of Babs down. I don't really like have a great switch into Spreezy anyway, so we kind of need to let Dragoon go down here. But now with that, I should be able to go into my Sumobito, and we're spamming Counter Stance until this thing goes down. I think we should one-shot it because it isn't running Hard Candy. Okay, there's my Counter Stance, and Spreezy is down. Ooh, if we didn't get the knockout, I'm pretty sure I would have got one-shotted, and then I would have had to rely on Zulong getting rid of it. I guess we could have gone Zulong instead of Sumobito, but it's a Sumobito showcase, okay? I gotta use it. Okay, next up is Wintrix. Yeah, not super great for us, unfortunately. I would love to stay and hit it, but Wintrix is definitely going to live a hit, and Wintrix is most likely going to threaten me with a one-shot. If it's running Brain Freeze low, I don't really have a switch. Like at all. I guess I'll go Meditail, but this is not looking too good, I'm not gonna lie. This is looking really bad. Baffle? Okay. That's good for us. I'll take that. If they go Tyrex, I guess we can just try and get Sumobito back into the battle, and we're clicking Poison. And it is Plasma. Okay. This is most likely gonna either dissipate or... This might actually have Teardown. Yeah, I think this actually has Teardown. Either way, because it's Thunder Summon, that might actually be like a more offensive Plasmoth, maybe. Or like a really, really fast one. No. Tyrex is the offensive one. Yeah, definitely, right? It is... Actually, what would it be running? Is Tyrex running Gloves and Overclock, or is it running Boots, Power Jaw, but it just wants Thunderstorm to power up Thunder Chomp? I don't know about that. Either way, I'm gonna go Sumobito so we can resist the Earth move. There we are, nice. This should do like, not really that much damage. And looking at that damage that we took, that might be gloves. I feel like it's a little bit obvious that I'm going to go for counter stance slow, so I'm going to go for poison, anticipating wind tricks again. Maybe. Okay, they do go flick draw. This is like the good part about having poison. Oh, actually they go parasol. That is, I think, good for us. Right. I should be able to go for a bulk up on this thing. The main issue is it's going to be questionable for whatever they pivot into. I don't think Parasol's going to stay in here, right? I'm clicking bulk up anyway. I need a little bit more bulkiness. That does a lot of damage, but I think we're fine. But yeah, having bulk up with health hamlet is nice. It makes setting up a little bit easier, so I can probably take one more move from the Parasol now. But also because I've got poison, it's good if I'm anticipating that I'm switching out, so I'm not just failing my moves. And to double that, if I have like a bulky fire type like Lerhoganosh, I can't really damage it too well, or especially air types as well, I just can't touch them, so poison punishes lows as well. Anyway, let's go for a counter Poise, that should be the Parasol down. And here, we actually should outspeed everything. So if they just go for an attacking move, we can get a lot of damage. The main issue obviously is going to be the wind tricks. Even at +1, I don't think we're going to one-shot it. That is the biggest issue I'm going to have. I need to get rid of the wind tricks, and then Sumobito is going to go nuts. It really is. I kind of want to attack low anyway, just to get some damage on the wind tricks, but I think it might be a mistake. Because I don't think Zulong is going to win against Tyrex and Plasmoth, especially. Tyrex is going to outspeed me as well if they get Thunder Summon back up. So, let's actually double into Zulong. I think we can take one hit from the wind tricks. Jetstream, okay, that is pretty good. Yep, we take one. Just barely low. And here we can go for Fire Breath? I don't want to go Thunderstrike because I don't want to give the Tyrex a free switch. But I think if I'm going to expect Plasmoth, I probably should Ancient Raw. I guess I'll Fire Breath? I'll Fire Breath, but I'm anticipating Plasmoth switching in. Yeah, that's fine. We have got like some pretty bulky Loomians to switch into to try and just waste Thunder Summon. Okay, how much is this gonna do? I mean, we're racking up pretty decent damage on the Plasmoth. And actually, dang! That is not a super bulky Plasmoth. I can actually take out the Plasmoth. Nice. This is actually great. They don't have any switch-ins for a Fire-type move, to be honest. Oh, they're sacking wind tricks. I'm fine with that. Okay, now my Sumobito is going to eat. That was like the biggest hurdle I needed to get over. Now we out priority the Tyrex and Plasmoth. If it goes for any attacking move, it dies. Okay, they only have Tyrex and Plasmoth left. I'm just gonna go for Fire Breath. I honestly don't think we need Zulong anymore. And yep, good to know it is Overclock. Actually really cool to see. I just don't think it's really worth using right now, because we don't have like the weather extending items right now. Once we get lows, oh, it's gonna be fun. Either way, I'm counterstancing here. They should anticipate this and switch out, which they do into Plasmoth. We can also click Poison. We could go for Bulk Up as well. I don't think Plasmoth can really hit us, but if it goes for Pestilence, it is gonna stall me out and just trap me on the field because I can't damage it other than Poison. They go for Rejuvenate, yeah. Poison here is gonna be good. All we have to do is just sacrifice one of our Loomians to get Sumobito back onto the field against the Tyrex, and we should be fine now. As long as this Plasmoth doesn't have any way to get rid of Poison, I think we're good. So here, I think we can actually go Wiki Wiki. Because Sumobito is like naturally very bulky, we can actually go for a Herbal Remedy pass to get some more health back if the opponent lets us. Which might be feasible, potentially. I feel like here they're going to go for a double. I don't think Tyrex is going to stay in, to be honest. I believe they're going to go back into Plasma for the speed. Although, to be honest, I guess they don't necessarily need it. Yeah, I guess they don't need it. So instead, I guess we'll just go Meditoad. We can remove Tyrex's held item just so it doesn't hit as hard. I believe it is gloves, but we're about to find out. If it switches out into Plasmoth, it's gloves. If it stays in and clicks Earthquake, hey, we know it isn't gloves. They do switch out. I'm going to anticipate then that it is gloves. And because we get to slap down the Plasmoth, if it has got Mysterious Dust, that is getting gone. So that's actually really good. There's no way Plasmoth is going to stick around forever now. Okay, they have heavy armor. That's completely fine. I want to just hard switch into Sumobito, but I don't know if that's a great play. Zip Zap can do some pretty decent damage to Sumobito, which is a pretty big issue. So I guess I'll go Wiki Wiki here. I'm just trying to position myself so I can get Sumobito back onto the field for free, practically. Like, we could have switched in there, but I feel like that would have been a little bit risky. I'll go for... I guess we just basically want to spam Herbal Remedy to try and get Sumobito on the field. There's Pharaoh Blast, that's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna switch into Sumobito here, then. The Plasmoth has to go for Wait or Rest, I would assume. So yeah, this is perfect timing. Sumobito's about to get back on the field and get all of its health back. And then we probably want to go for a Wait. Maybe? We might not really need to low. I could just try and hit them. Okay, actually, yeah, I think we just go for Counter Stance. If the Plasmoth goes for an attack, they obviously die. If they don't rejuvenate, Poison will take them out. And if they switch, I just spam Counter Stance. I think we just go for Counter Stance. We've kind of like forced them into a position now where I'm knocking things out. Plasmoth is gone, which means Thunder Summon is over and they can't set it back up. It doesn't really matter low fall there, Tyrex. Tyrex already outspeeds both my tank Loomians, and Sumobito is always going to out-priority the Tyrex. But yep, Sumobito here can just clean up for us. Not too bad. Was a little bit tough, not gonna lie. We had to position ourselves like very carefully there. Mostly just so I don't just sacrifice my Sumobito. I mostly had to get rid of the Wind Tricks, and that was kind of it. Sumobito absolutely ate. Next up, let's check out the Glove Sumobito. We're running 200 melee attack TPs with a very brawny personality to let us hit as hard as possible. The 36 energy TPs will get us to 240 energy at level 50, which will let us use 6 counterpoises or counter stances. The 16 speed TPs will let us outspeed all our Sumobitos. The 48 range defense TPs will let our range defense stat be greater than our melee defense, which in turn will make Protogun get a melee attack increase rather than a ranged one. And then the 200 health TPs will increase our overall bulkiness. For the held item, we're gonna go with Specialty Gloves to give us the biggest damage output increase possible. Then for the ability, we're using Guru, which will increase the damage of our moves by 50% as long as they have a strength of 70 or lower. And finally, for the moves, we're running Counterpoise and Counter Stance for Stab, and they're also both priority moves. Poison will at least let us do something to Loomians that would otherwise counter our Sumobito and punish them. And finally, we have Hondashi to force Loomians out of the battle, which will punish the opponent if they decide to switch out or to start setting up. Although there are some other options like Parasitize, Quick Punch, Fire Slam, Bamboozle, or even Ill Will. Okay then, this time we're using the very hard-hitting Sumobito, although unfortunately I see a Land Torch. Their priority is gonna make mine fail, but hey, we should be fine. I see a lot of bulky Loomians and I can hit the majority of these really hard. Eurosnack not so much though. Okay, we're once again leading off with Ragoon. I basically just want to try and steal an ability. Stealing Stratosaur's Toxic Filter ability is pretty good. Stealing Eurosnack's tank ability is pretty good. Like I said, Sumobito is going to have a pretty tough time into Eurosnack, but we can poison it at the very least, which is the entire reason why we have that. Heirlo, we just preemptive, I'm not going to think about it too much. And we take Frail Armor, okay. Not super great for us, because obviously it already activated, so we already gave them a boost. But because we have the Clutch plushie, I can now hit them with an Allagash while they're at -1. That probably wasn't a good idea. Yes, Dragoon is very frail, and you will one-shot it, I'm gonna just barely live. I'm sorry, man, that was definitely not the play. And hey, I get rid of an air type, which is good for Sumobito. Like, yeah, we can hit this one obviously with Brawler and it'll hit for neutral, but if it has the potential perch, it can just constantly heal up against us just spamming our priority. So honestly, I am completely fine to get rid of this. They go for their soul move, that's honestly completely fine. Dragoon's got it, okay. And then we can try and go for maybe some Bobs next turn. But yep, hang on with my clutch plushie, and see you later, Stratosaur. Honestly, yeah, we probably could have been fine. It's just a risk that we don't really need to take if I don't have to. Carolyn is out now. I think we actually outspeed Carolyn, so hey, free Barbs. But I don't really want to give them a free Sharpen. But at the same time, we can probably hit them pretty hard with Sumobito. But after using Carolyn myself, I already know that I don't really need to take that risk. We can just go into Luminame. We don't really care about Carolyn's attacks. And then here, I'm gonna click Flash and Flee. I want to click Flash and Flee, obviously, because I get free pivot, but they have got Eliguana or Mauermerk, potentially, so they can block me from pivoting. I'm not gonna worry about it too much, I'll just find out, okay? There's the Eliguana, which is, yeah, completely fine. Doesn't actually have Secret Ability, which makes sense, because they already have a plant type, they don't really need 2 immunities to Light Right. But yep, we can just go Sumobito here. Hondashi isn't too bad, because they could just go for the Withdraw. I'm just gonna go for Poison Low. If they have your snack, we're about to see it. Oh hey, your snack, how's it going, man? How's it going? Okay, yeah, I definitely knew they were gonna bring this. And we hit Poison first time, love to see it. Now hopefully, they can't get rid of Poison. If they can, this is gonna be a lot more troublesome. If they can't, okay. Your snack can only switch in so many times now. Okay, we can just go back into Luminami here. I should anticipate Slapdown maybe? I'm assuming they just want to get rid of Sumobito's held item, or they were anticipating Luminami coming back in, but overall just removing anything's held item is always going to be good. And we saw Health Amulet. Okay, so we know that the Ursnack itself can get rid of the poison, and then here we can just Wave Wrecker, anticipating a Liguana. What have I seen so far? Eliguana, Ursnack, Carolyn, Stratosaur, which is gone. I don't think they have Mauermerk. I think I can actually just go for 3 pivots. Baffle, that's fine. That is completely fine. I get to pivot off of Lem, so I get to go into my best option. It is Foreman. Okay, great. Luminami can't have its pivot blocked, and we're doing a little bit of damage to the Foreman. Obviously, we need to get rid of its like half of its health, so my priority doesn't fail against theirs. Oh, and actually, they don't have a Zip Zap immunity either, do they? So Meditoad can come in here and start spamming Zip Zap as well, but I'm gonna go for a Slap Down. If the Foreman stays in, I would rather try and get that under half health as soon as possible, but it's also fine. If they go Ursnack, we'll get rid of the Health Amulet, so now they're gonna go down faster to the poison, and I don't really want Meditoad losing its held item, so I'm just gonna go back into Luminami. Because Luminami has already lost its held item, there's no need to like switch something else into a potential slapdown. We're just always gonna go Luminami. And honestly, the only Loomian to really hit my Luminami is Foreman, but Meditoad just completely walls it. Okay, there is Carolyn. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, man, this is not gonna go very well. They stay in and go for Mega Kick, which, yeah, will do pretty decent damage. But there is a Flash and Flee, pretty good damage from us. I think I want to go Ragoon. I would love to try and get some entry hazards down, again, just to slowly but surely get rid of the Euro Snack, but also to start weakening the Foreman. So that is exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, yep, we outsped the Curlin, got some Babs down, and we're most likely just gonna get knocked out here. Oh, and it isn't Goggles. That miss is really unfortunate, but hey, more Babs, am I right? And because Ragoon is a Power Dark type, or Dark type Loomian, we can force Iguana to not switch in to get rid of our entry hazards, because if it does, I'm gonna hit it with a really nasty Nallygash. But yeah, here I'm actually gonna just hit the Curlin. We almost just took it out, dang. I know I use Curlin myself, but I forgot it's really frail. It really doesn't want to take any like neutral hits. Here low, we can go Sumobito. And we are just gonna go for counter stance. Counterpoise? Counterpoise. They stay in, and they go down. Nice. They could have gone for the sharpen there, or just a switch out. But if they are going to switch out, it needs to be Iguana immediately, and they need to get rid of entry hazards immediately. Here, I am trapped in the counterpoise. We could just hit them, but I don't think it's really worth it. It does suck because my hazards are about to get gone, like removed immediately, but can't really do anything about it. Because I'm gloves low, I guess I could just hit it. Okay, yeah, I forgot. Sumobito gloves, maxed out melee attack, and then also our ability Guru nukes. And that Iguana is definitely a range tank, and also Mudslide. I mean, hey, I'll take it. That is actually really good. I thought it would like just barely live, but hey, I'm not complaining. That's actually really good. Now, I think Sumobito is about to go crazy again. We just need to get rid of this Foreman's ability. We need to get it under half health. So hey, Foreman is in. We're clicking Zip Zap. They go for withdraw, but it's fine. Because they can't get rid of the entry hazards, it honestly doesn't matter. All we have to do is like force them to switch back in just like a couple more times, and we're so good. We don't really need to go Sumobito here. I also just can't really hit the Snack very hard at all, so we just always go Luminame, and we flash on Flee. We could also just go Zulong here, I guess, and just get rid of the Snack, but it's fine. This is most likely going to want to go for a Baffle here, back into Foreman. No, that's fine. I'll go for Flash and Flee Len. I guess we can just go Zulong Len and get rid of the Snack. No, never mind. We don't need Zulong, okay? We get Meditoad in here, okay? They're gonna take poison damage, so Psycho Blast is gonna be enough to KO them, and we should live a Slapdown plus whatever Foreman throws at us, so I can just Zip Zap on the Foreman and take it under half health. Okay, we got it in the bag. The amount of like switching and positioning I'm having to do just to like get Sumobito to work is a little bit tough, but it's fine. I mean, that's also gonna happen with like any Loomian, especially if the opponent has quite a few like answers for us. Foreman priority is really bad for us, and then also like the Your Snack, I just KO'd it. I completely forgot about it for a second. Yep, we can just Zip Zap here. Nice. I'm not sure if this is a Goggles one. I would assume this one probably is running Goggles. So either way, I can out-priority it now. And yeah, we have got Horn Dash here, which we didn't actually use in this battle, but it's completely fine. This is mostly here just so we can, like, if we're anticipating them switching, and we know it's not, like, a Spirit type, we can Driving Force them back out, get some pretty good damage, and hazard damage as well. Or also use it to, like, try and force a defensive Loomian out that we aren't really, like, fond of, or if they're setting up as well. But hey, Counterplay should win us the game here. Ooh, yeah, Sumobito is really freaking fun. I was really, like, not expecting the one-shot on the Iguana. I'm not sure why, it's probably just because I haven't used Sumobito in a really long time. And usually when you see an Iguana, it is tanking hits for days, even from melee attackers, but oh boy, that was pretty good. And finally, let's check out the bulky offensive Sumobito. We're running 200 health TPs and 200 range defense TPs with a clever personality to make us as range bulky as possible. The 36 energy TPs will get us to 240 energy at level 50, which will let us use 6 counter places or counter stances. And then the 64 melee attack TPs with a brawny personality is mostly leftovers, but it will let us hit a little bit harder. For the held item, we're going to be running a restrictive shield to increase our range bulk even more so, but I guess if you wanted to, you could switch this out for restrictive armor and put the range defense TPs into melee defense if you want a melee tanky version. Then for the ability, we're running Guru, which will increase the damage of our moves by 50% as long as they have a strength of 70 or lower. And finally, for the moves, we're running Counter Ploys and Counter Stance as our main forms of attacking while being priority. Horndasher will let us force the opponent Loomians out of the battle, and Parasitize is here to let us have a reliable bug move that can't fail, while also giving us a healing option. Although there are some other options like Quick Punch, Fire Slam, Bamboozle, or Ill Will. Okay, lastly, let's check out the tanky variant for Sumobito, which, if you had to compare it to something, I guess you would say maybe Tyrex, a somewhat very bulky Loomian that can output pretty good damage, and consistent damage. Okay, just as usual, it's the Ragoon lead, baby. And there's Grimmeline. Looking at their team, I think Marafe is probably their Barb user, so this is most likely a Gloves Grimmeline. Either way, let's get rid of its ability first. Most likely Sharp Claws? Yes, so that is definitely the Gloves one. So hey, love to see that. Here, can I switch out into anything? Not really. Weak to dark, and then weak to brawler. If it is Gloves low, if I get the call right, that's looking pretty good for us. But it's a little bit risky. I mean, it's definitely not going to go for a dark type move right now, right? So I guess in theory we could get Meditoad in. But no, a little bit risky, let's just go for Barbs. There's Vital, that is fine. Oh. That honestly did not do as much damage as I thought it would do. Maybe it's not Gloves, or maybe it's because it's just missing its Sharp Claws ability. Maybe that's like the entire reason. But hey, I'm not complaining. I'll gladly get more Barbs down. And there's a Zulong. How's it going, man? Not really a big fond of you switching in on me like that, because I need to go for the withdraw now. I guess we just go Meditoad. We could technically go Sumobito, but it might be a little bit too soon for it to switch in right now. But Restrictive Shield, and our, like, pretty good range defense. I just think we should go Meditoad first. We don't need to, like, show off our Sumobito right now, yeah? Yeah, probably a good idea. There's Zip Zap. Yep, exactly, because they just went for a pivot immediately. Okay, that's fine. What do they go into? Teteb. Sure. Oh, it's the secret ability Teteb. I've honestly wanted to battle a lot more of these. It's just that you never really see it. Also, I should let you know, I am still thinking about switching out Teteb's secret ability. Right now, it gets double speed if it has a status ailment. I'm probably going to switch it out for something like Chlorophyll in the future, whenever we get a light type of weather. That's probably what I'm going to do, but that's probably not going to be for a long time. Actually, I think I can just stay in here. I mean, like, yeah, what's the Teteb realistically going to do? It could just go for a plant type move and just hit us really hard, but at the same time, I can live one, and Teteb is really not going to appreciate a Psycho Blast to the face, right? Okay, yeah, they just go for the withdrawal immediately into Marafe. You have got Shatter. That's not really like the issue low. What the issue mostly is that you're a Spirit type, so hitting you with my Sumobito is going to be a little bit tough. But it's not as bad as, like, your Snack. We have got Parasitize, so I don't necessarily need to make a prediction if it's going to attack me or not. I can just hit it on its very weak melee defense stats. Okay, this might be kind of dumb. I'm going to go Zulong here, anticipating Shatter, which they do. They get some entry hazards up. But I'm just going to go for Ancient Roar immediately. I don't think Marafe is going to stay in, right? And if they do, they're kind of crazy. Okay, they do go for withdrawal, so hey, we're getting nice hazard damage. There's our Zulong, and then here I can go into Sumobito. I could also go Wiki Wiki to get rid of these barbs, but I don't think one layer of barbs is going to be like super dangerous for us, so hey. Let's get Sumobito in here and start applying some damage. Zulong here could just hit us with like Thunderstrike or Fire Breath, anticipating another switch. I'm just going to go for Parasitize just to get health back. They go for Zip Zap, yeah, this is fine. It's not going to do that much damage, and whatever they switch into, I should get at least some form of health recovery here. Which it is Gremlin. Yep, it is neutral, and it has got like a pretty good melee defense stat, but I think we're going to take a good amount of health from this. Yep, we're basically back up to full. I'll gladly take that. And actually, because we know it can't get rid of Ragoon in one hit unless it clicks Rogue Assault, which I'm pretty sure I gave it Rogue Assault. Nope, Vital Jab, that's fine. Because I can take a hit, we can just basically get rid of Ragoon. And I actually already forgot, if I'm faster than it, I could get another layer of Babs down. No, it is actually faster than me. I forgot who else bed who, I'm not gonna lie. Even though it was like literally in this battle, I already forgot. Well, here I think we can go Wiki Wiki. If this is definitely gloves, I can go for a Mudslide here, or a Poison. Poison might be better for the Gremlin, but getting rid of entry hazards I do like. And they go into Teteb. Yeah, I don't think Teteb's realistically gonna do anything to me, so I'm a little bit surprised about this. But at the same time, maybe not really, because they know I can't damage them. I've only got Mudslide and Poison, which they resist Mudslide, and they already have a status ailment, so I can't poison them, so honestly, maybe that's not a bad idea. But, yeah, I think I just go Meditoad here. Right. I want to go Sumobito, but we're mostly, like, range defensive. If I can avoid taking, like, a Jungle Jutsu, I'll try and do that. There's Ill Will. How much does that do? Quite a bit, but Milkshake, we can take another one. Okay, so let's just go for Zip Zap here. If I live this, I will take the free switch, and hey, we're getting a lot of free passive damage. Or just Zip Zap critical hit, something gets me a big chunk of actual damage. Okay, Sumobito time. I'm clearly just gonna go for a counter stance. I feel like that's very obvious. So maybe I go for Parasitize. Expecting the Murray switch in? Nah, I don't think I need to. I just counterpoise. Okay, they stay in. Tateb is down. Really good for us. Actually, really good. They go into Maraith. Yeah, because we aren't locked into counterpoise, we can actually just go for Parasitize here. It is resisted, but I think we'll be fine. I think. Technically, Counterpoise is stronger because it is getting boosted by Guru. I don't think Parasitize does get boosted. I guess we'll try it low. I think I can live one hit fairly well from Maraith. We outspeed it. So, I mean, hey, I'm going to go back up to full health. Yeah. We do enough damage, I can knock out the Maraith this turn. Shatter, okay, the Shatter actually does a lot more than I actually expected, damn. I thought I could live that pretty well. I guess the +1 Maraith is doing numbers. Okay, this time I'm gonna try and counterpoise, play Switch Out Low into Zulong. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm actually a little bit surprised I sacrificed a Zulong. If I just click Parasitize again, I would have got a lot of health back. Either way, I'm counterpoising again. We get the knockout on Zulong. Nice. We basically click counterpoise on the Maraith just in case it has priority. I'm not sure if it does low. Here, I honestly think the Kraptana is gonna go for Drudge. I'm going to Horn Dash here. Yep, okay. So this is actually great for having Horn Dash here then. We can force out the setup sweepers, and that is a lot of damage to the Kraptana. I think that Kraptana faints if it switches back in. Sumobito just did so much work. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Maraith is one shot, so if it switches out, it can't switch back in. Kraptana's one shot, it can't do anything. It is just the... Grimuline, I think, that they have left? Okay, let's play this a little bit smart, Len. Let's sack Meditoad to get my Wiki in. There's Shadow again. We're gonna get rid of the entry hazards. If we're faster than Maraith, that's fine. If we're slower than Maraith, I think that's also fine. I don't think it really matters. I just want to, like, save Sumobito for a couple of turns to get enough energy to click a priority move. That is my entire goal right now. For mudsliding, I just need to get rid of the entry hazards to get it back onto the field safely. Impersonate, I mean, yeah. I actually wonder what would happen if they impersonate a counterpoise. I actually don't know what would happen in that case. But also, dang, that could have actually backfired if they went for that against my Sumobito. Clicking Parasitize, I guess. It could have knocked me out when I went to about like 30 health, right? But hey, it doesn't matter. There's the Grimoire. Yeah, this is like the biggest issue for us, to be honest. It is going to be really tough because getting rid of the Grimoire is pretty easy. Zulon can most likely get rid of it. The issue is Krabtana. If it goes for a Drudge again when Sumobito has no energy, it can outspeed my Zulong and probably just one-shot it, or definitely one-shot it. Here's what I'm gonna do, Len. I'm gonna go for Herbal Remedy. We can try and position myself where I can get Sumobito onto the field after Wiki gets knocked out so I can get health back, potentially. I'm not sure if it's actually going to work, but we can give it a try. Here, I think I can take another hit, so I'm going to go for Poison here. They go for the withdraw, and honestly, that's completely fine. Oh wait, I just realized! They got rid of my entry hazards with that Impersonate earlier. I didn't need to worry about Krabtana, but now I do. Okay. Oh, that Impersonate was actually really good, but it doesn't actually matter. That Poison just kind of sealed the Krabtana's fate. We can just go for dodge here so we don't get hurt. Sorry, man. I ain't gonna let that happen. That's the Krabtana down. Well, I think Wiki wins now. It looks like Grimline can't hit us hard enough to get rid of us, so we can always Herbal Remedy and Poison Stall. So hey, love to see it. Let's go for Poison here. Vital, that's fine. I mean, yeah, they're getting health back, but Poison eventually will rack up enough damage for it just to get knocked out. And now, I kind of want to sacrifice Zulong to get Sumobito onto the field. I want Sumobito to hit the Grimoire. I want to see how much damage it does. It's probably not going to be a lot low. But at the same time, we can actually wait until the Grimoire needs to go for a rest, and then we can get Sumobito into the battle for free. I kind of want to expect to wait here, to be honest, but I'm going to go for rest. I think I can live. Okay, they just forfeit. Honestly, that's completely fine. It doesn't matter what they were going to do there. They can just not break through Wiki, so it's basically just GG. And yeah, honestly, all of the Sumobitos we've used have been pretty good. Like, only having the priority moves is a little bit troublesome, I'm not gonna lie. I think my favorite, honestly, might be this Restrictive Shield Sumobito. We're super bulky, we have an option to get health back. The only issue is we don't have Poison to get rid of things like Your Snack that could be problematic for us. That is the only downside.